Okay, well, here's what I'm working on. I have these USB charge ports that I bought off Amazon, and I want to add them to this unit. We don't have much in here in the way of outlets, and with this many people, 4 of us going to be in here for probably a month or so. It would be nice to have a place that everybody could charge their phones or run their devices or whatever. And if we're boondocking, we can then run them off the battery too. That's when I'm going to run them off of 12 volts. So anyway, let's see what happens. Okay, so one thing I have learned the hard way, which is the way I learn most things, is you cannot trust that corner to be 90 degrees. So I am going to take this and, sorry about that, open it up beyond 90 degrees, and shove it into the corner and see if it really is 90. Let's push that till it stops right there. Okay, what do we got? Well, what do you know? It is 90 degrees. Will miracles never cease? That'll make it a lot easier building a shelf for it, won't it? Okie doke. So here we go. I got the corner shelves made and stained. It's a varnish and stain together. And it's just a simple triangle. I just used 1/2-inch ply and put a lip on the front, so when it goes into the wall, this will actually, blend into the wall and not have any rough edge sticking out. And then I made these little brackets on there where I countersunk the holes for the screws to go through to stick it into the wall. So there's those two. This little box here, this goes up next to the bed on the passenger side, I guess you'd call it. No, driver's side? Yeah, driver's side, I guess it is. If you're laying in the bed, front bed, it's on the right-hand side, to put a charge port on that side because it doesn't have one. There's one on the other side because that's where the solar panel, the solar charge controller is, and it has the USB ports, but there's not one on the other side of the bed, so I built that to go in there. Fits back and tucks into a corner, and then I can put the, got about 1 1/4 inch hole in it to put the charge port in. So now I'm going to go install them. Okay, then to figure out where this goes, I want it high enough that if your head was at this end of the bed, you're not going to worry about bonking your noggin on it. But low enough that you can actually work with it. So maybe somewhere along in there. Let's see. How far is that from the top? 9 inches, 9.5, 10, 9. Let's go 9 inches from the top. All right, so I'm gonna put my mark there. Okay, so my mark is 9 inches from the top, and I got a square here. I need a line coming off both sides. So that I can get it put up there straight. I have a line here, and the dot in the corner. So I line this up with the corner, and then over the top, I'm going to put those lines along the top edge of that and stick it in, and then I can run the screws in. I'll be right back. Okay, so next step is to add the charge ports up there somewhere. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is figure out where I'm putting my charge controller. I'm back to the solar now. Put the USB port in here. And I think what I'm going to do is use this. Go from the roof to there, Put it right at the point of that. See how that comes out. If I do that, then I'll show you in a minute. The little dot there where the point was. I don't know if I like it there or not, but we'll see. At least I can start with that and work my way out. Because that wall, if I come around, is now that wall back in here. I took the TV off completely, so it's not sitting on my head while I'm trying to work. Now, if I take... Alright, yeah, there's nothing in here. I thought that lattice pattern up there, I thought that went down this inside wall when I was thinking about how to do this. And it don't. So, I've got that, and it looks like this wall thickness here, which comes to... Get this pencil out of the way. How thick is this wall? 1 inch. And then there's the brown panel there, so that's probably 1/8 of an inch. This stuff's really thin. So it's a little over 1 inch. And these USB ports are about 2 inches, so I should be fine coming through that wall into this area. Okay. Yeah, I make mistakes too. You see where I started my hole. I drilled all the way to the inside. I thought I drilled all the way to the inside. On the inner wall, there was a speck of something that looked like the small hole I did to probe to see where it was going to come through. It was right about where I wanted it. That speck of something was not a hole. I started the hole here, which now I get to fix, because something I did not take into account, and I forgot, was that. You have this gap between the roof and the top of the cabinets. Yeah, a lot of wasted space, I know. So when I did go back and re-drill, it comes through right there at the edge of that. That is too high. And that's how you hide a mistake like that. You just kind of stain another piece of wood to match what you've already got going on, add it to it, and just in case somebody thinks, well, that's a mistake, then you show them this down here. Well, it looks the same as that. It was planned that way. I know. Guys, we're good at hiding things, aren't we? And so now all I got left to do is tie up the wires. I got them all coming into here. The blue and yellow coming from below, the orange and green from the upstairs one. I made a junction block up there out of a piece of 1/2 inch plywood, a couple of 1/4 inch 20 bolts. Actually, those are toilet bolts. I had them out in the garage, wasn't using them for anything. And so I put those on there to run all our wires to. That runs, power comes from that outlet. And this one that's hanging down here is feeding the inverter that's over here, which is going to supply power for that to run our movies off of. And I'm also going to run a second line off of it that's going to go, I think I'm going to do it anyway. I'm so tired right now, I don't care. I was going to run it down through the floor here of this pantry, way at the back, so that it can go down through the wall and come out down here, and have a 110 outlet that is powered by the inverter. That inverter is stuck on there using Velcro, a big patch of industrial strength Velcro. So anyway, there it is, and hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I'm sorry if it went really long.